Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
The show opens with a recap of what happened last week in the steel cage match between Solo and Rhodes, Roman Reigns helping Cody Rhodes, and the Rhodes Reigns contract signing, before we see the Bloodline entering the stadium and Jacob Fatu beating up security when they try to pat him down because he set the metal detectors off. They're just doing the job, Jacob. Give them a break.
Kicking us off in the ring, though, is a United States Championship title match. LA Knight versus Andrade. It's a bit of a seesaw battle before Andrade lands a crossbody from the top rope for a 2 count cover. We then go outside the ring where Knight proceeds to bounce Andrade's head off the announcer's table multiple times before we go back in the ring for a Knight 2 count cover. Andrade then hits a great looking moonsault to the outside from the top rope, taking Knight out before we head for a break. When we come back from the commercials, we see a missed Meteora by Andrade and a DDT by Knight for a 2 count cover. After suffering a neckbreaker and a cover, Andrade lands a standing moonsault after a missed top rope moonsault and Meteora for a 2 count. Knight, now looking to finish the match off, power slams Andrade, hits a big elbow from the top rope and goes for the BFT. Andrade counters into a pin. Knight kicks out, gets up and walks straight into the message. Andrade covers, but Knight manages to kick out on a 2 somehow. Andrade goes to finish Knight off with a missile dropkick from the top rope, but Knight dodges it, hits the BFT and covers Andrade for the win, retaining his title.
Backstage, we see Tiffany, Stratton and Nia Jax discussing the Tornado tag match they have later against Bayley and Naomi. Jax warns Stratton that if they lose, though, it'll be her leaving SmackDown. Now remember this bit. After Jax reminds us of the very convoluted match stipulation she came up with last week, loser leaving SmackDown.
Back from the break, and we see Andrade walking through backstage when he bumps into Carmelo Hayes. Hayes telling Andrade that he choked during his match with Knight. Andrade takes exception to this and beats on Hayes before backstage hands separate the two men. This feud is not quite over.
Next we have a face-off between Reigns and Rhodes on a football field. I mean, why not? Georgia Tech to be precise. Reigns says it's his field, his stadium and his city. Rhodes responds by saying generations of his family have shed blood for this city. This is my home. Reigns cuts to the chase, saying that Rhodes has everything to lose, whereas Reigns has nothing to lose. Jimmy's gone, no wise man and no Ulafala. Rhodes tells him to look around WWE. We already got a tribal chief and we got a WWE champion. So who are you? The guy they used to call Roman Reigns? Reigns cracks, asking Cody what he wants. Cody just wants his word that he'll have his back. Reigns gives him his word but warns him when it's all over he's taking back what's his.
We then witness Kevin Owens watching what just happened on a monitor when he gets asked by Byron Saxton for his thoughts on what he just saw. Owens says nothing, just walking off.
Time for some ring action. Apollo Crews via Giovanni Vinci Part 2. Is this heading to a 5-parter like Andrade Hayes? Vinci doesn't give Crews much of a chance as we see Vinci's skill set. Vinci sets Crews up for seemingly a powerbomb, but Crews reverses it into a crucifix pin.
Nice.
And gets the cover on Vinci again. After the match, Vinci goes after Crews, hitting him with a brainbuster before leaving the ring. So, 2-0 to Crews then.
Backstage, and we see Byron Saxton asking Kevin Owens again about what he thinks of Reigns and Rhodes teaming up. Owens tells him he'll talk about it in the ring, with Michael Cole calling Saxton a pest.
Once in the ring and after thanking the crowd for chanting his name, Owens tells us he's got to be honest about the whole Reigns-Rhodes situation. But as he's about to, he gets interrupted by the Tamatonga in full Tiny Warrior mode. Yeah. Literally, that is what he comes out saying. He's with Loa and Fatu. He warns Owens he's got what's coming to him tonight by orders of the real tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. Owens shoots Tonga down by saying, before you start talking it again, I can guarantee you no one's ever wanted to hear what you got to say. Ever. Owens goes on to say, we know what's going to happen, so let's get on with it. The Bloodline oblige, entering the ring and beat up Owens. DIY come out for the save, managing to shatter Machine Tama Tonga. With the Bloodline on the outside regrouping, Nick Aldis heads out, spoiling things with the help of backstage staff and referees by separating the warring men. Aldis makes a 6-man tag for later. Bloodline versus Owens in DIY.
Backstage, and we see Bayley and Naomi having a friendly falling out about who's going to get the first title opportunity if they beat Jax and Stratton in their match later. When we come back from the break, we have that match. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi and Bayley in a tornado tag match, meaning all 4 women are in the ring at the same time, with the loser leaving SmackDown.
Bayley and Naomi dominate the opening portion of the match, with both going for a cover on Jax while looking at each other as if to say, what you doing? Jax kicks out on 2 though. We then see a double team blockbuster on Bayley, with Jax covering her for a 2 count. After double teaming Jax outside the ring, Naomi and Bayley then decide to target Stratton, the weaker of their opponents. Tiffy gets thrown back into the ring and hit with a double team move, with Bayley going for the cover. Naomi drags her off. After putting their disagreement to one side, Bayley and Naomi manage a double back body drop on Jax. We then get a nice spot where Jax leg drops Naomi into a cover as Bayley lands an elbow on Stratton into a cover. The referee counting both covers, but Naomi and Stratton kick out on 2. Things come to a head when Jax goes to hit Naomi with a powerbomb, Naomi countering into the X Factor and covering Jax. Stratton, meanwhile, on the top rope, goes for a swanton to break the cover, when Naomi moves out of the way, causing Stratton to land on Jax instead. Bayley and Naomi seize their opportunity, one being Stratton, who ends up outside the ring. Jax, though, is back, Simone dropping Bayley. As Nia sits up from the move, though, Naomi does her flip pin on her, with Bayley rolling Jax into a pinning position at the same time. As Bayley and Naomi cover Jax, the ref counts to 3, and Team Glow win. But who got the pin? This also means Stratton is leaving. Jax did say earlier that if they'll lose, it'll be her leaving SmackDown, presumably to go to Raw. Maybe NXT for a bit, but my money's on Raw.
Yeah.
Because she did say earlier, if we lose,
You're
going.
Yeah.
So I've got a feeling, because they need a champion on SmackDown, so I think it will be Stratton going. No, I'm in that. I mean, why not? But I think, she's on her way to Raw.
We see Chelsea Green as a bin woman, apparently in training for a dumpster match against Michin in 2 weeks' time, before we see Part 6 of Andrade vs Hayes advertised for next week on SmackDown. More sequels than Friday the 13th, them two. Isn't strictly true, but you get my point.
We see Naomi and Bayley then arguing in front of Nick Aldis as to who pinned Nia. Aldis tells them they'll have to fight it out next week. Winner takes on Jax at Bad Blood. Now, they could have made that a triple threat at Bad Blood.
Easily, yeah.
Let's be honest, it's a bit more interesting. But Aldis, have a think next time.
Last match of the night, Kevin Owens and DIY against the Bloodline. Owens heads out first, and while he waits, DIY, we cut to backstage and we see the Bloodline beating them up. Owens decides to help them out, but as he leaves the ring and heads up the ramp, the Bloodline come out and pound Owens. As they take him back towards the ring, help for Owens arrives in the shape of the Street Profits. When we come back from a break, we have a revised last match of the night. Kevin Owens and the Street Profits versus the Bloodline.
The Profits take it to Lower. Quick tags, quick moves and quick covers before Owens enters the fray and continues the punishment on Lower. Clearly the fall guy. Lower eventually makes the tag with Fatu and Tama Tonga exchanging tags and putting the hurt on the Profits, turning the match in the Bloodline's favour, with Fatu hitting a great looking moonsault on Dawkins as we go to a break. When we come back, the Bloodline are still in control. Finally, after what seemed an age, Dawkins makes a tag to Ford after Fatu missed a corner attack. Fatu manages to make it to his corner, tagging in Tonga, but Ford's too fired up and batters Tama, even getting a 2 count cover. Ford decides he's had enough, so tags Owens in. Owens drops down to the floor, runs round to the Bloodline corner and clothesline Lower and Fatu before sentoning, I don't know if that's a word, but he sentons Fatu and then splashes Lower from the apron.
Nice.
After wrecking everyone, Owens gets back in the ring, cannonballing Tonga and then swantoning him from the top rope. He goes for the cover, but Jacob breaks the cover on 2. Dawkins gets back in the ring, taking out Fatu and himself. So Owens tries again and climbs to the top rope. Only this time, Tonga gets up and joins him up there. After trading punches, Tama suffers a fisherman's buster with KO going for the pin. Tonga this time saved by Loa. Owens kicks Loa away and hits a stunner on Tonga. Loa once again saving his teammate by pulling Owens off Tama and out the ring. The referee at this point decides to end the match with everyone then brawling on the outside. I don't know why he ended the match. Just let it go, ref. Just let it go. Fatu splashes forward in the ring with the Bloodline men acknowledging just as they're about to triple powerbomb Owens through the announcer's table. DIY then hobble out for the save, but don't, as the Bloodline humble them. The Bloodline turn their attentions back to Owens and toss him in the ring. The Samoan werewolf about to climb the ropes to splash him when someone else comes out for the save. Cody Rhodes, armed with a chair. After dealing with Tama and Tonga, Cody enters the ring, giving Fatu a Cody cutter and then ejecting him from the ring. Cody watches the Bloodline back up the rampway, but doesn't see Owens behind him, chair in hand, seemingly ready to attack Rhodes. Cody turns around, not sensing the danger, just seeing his friend with a chair. Cody offers his hand to Owens. Owens throws the chair down, looks at the outstretched hand of Rhodes and shakes it. SmackDown goes off the air with the smiling Rhodes and a foreboding Owens in the background, chair back in hand. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
And we'll see you next time for our look at Raw.